In today's video, I've got MJJC's new foam. It says foam and you would think snow foam. This is not actually a snow foam, it's more of a snow foam shampoo. Now, I've been talking about this on the channel and also on the podcast, which you guys can go and check out down in the links down below. But my friend Paul Dolden and I have been talking about this quite regularly, that shampoos don't always have to go in a bucket. And we're really enjoying the idea of using snow foam as a shampoo, but not dedicated snow foams, because those are pre-washes. But there are more and more shampoos coming out nowadays designed to work through your snow foam lance. What that does is it gives you a little bit of extra flexibility. It allows you to get lots of shampoo onto the car, and it allows you to put it exactly where you want it. You would essentially use a little bit less water because you're not filling up a big bucket full of water and then a second bucket with rinse water. So in this situation, I'm going to be using this through my Alva snow foam lance, spraying it onto the car, washing the car with it, then rinsing it off, just to show you a little bit of the idea behind this. Now, they make a big deal with this shampoo. They say here that it's snow foam shampoo, foam cannon and foam guns. It's super soft, apparently. It contains crude palm oil. I don't know where they get the palm oil from, but apparently it contains palm oil. It's in there. And apparently there's a very common product to have in many car care products. Now, the dilution ratios, I know people are going to ask, how much do you need to use in this? It says here you need to rinse off the car first with clean water. It's a good idea. Pre-rinse your car, get most of the dirt that's loose on the car, get that off and let the snow foam get to the car. Then it says it has to be diluted 10 times, so that's 10-to-1 usually in your snow foam lance. It does mention into the bottle of the MJJC foam gun. I do have an MJJC Foam Canon Pro and Pro 2 over there, so I'll try one of those as well. The MJJC Foam Canon Pros are very well known for aerating product and creating super thick foam, but I'll also try it in my Alva Premium Foam Cannon lance, and also the most frugal of lances that I have, which is the one from Detailed Online. So we'll try those. So it's 100 milliliters of detergent to 900 milliliters of water. That's actually not right, because that's not 10-to-1, that's 9-to-1. Something to watch out for. That's 9 parts water to 1 part product. That's not 10-to-1, so it's not diluted 10 times. 10-to-1 would be 90 milliliters of product to 910 milliliters of water. That's a 10-to-1 dilution ratio. Spray it onto the vehicle, wipe it gently with a soaked wash mitt, moistened with the foam, that's fine, and then rinse it off with clean water and then wipe down to dry it. That's fairly simple and straightforward there. This is a 600 milliliter bottle, and I will leave the price on screen for you here so you can check this out for yourself, but let's go and try it on the car through those foam lances. So we're filling up 100 milliliters of this foam shampoo into each one of the foam lance bottles. The first one there was the Alva Premium one, then the middle was the Detailed Online, and lastly the MJJC Foam Cannon Pro version 2. Each one was filled up exactly as the measure is, so we went with the original measurements of 100 milliliters of product to 900 milliliters of water. Some of the bottles had measures, others didn't, and I had to work that out. So the first one you're seeing here is the Alva Premium Foam Cannon. And honestly, you can see there that it's pretty good looking. It's fairly thick. This is at its widest open setting for the flow of chemical. That means that the most amount of product is flowing into this at the time. I haven't dialed it back. I've left it wide open so you can see its maximum foam level. The overall panel impact ratio of this snow foam cannon is very similar to the MJJC version 2. It's quite a thick foam, but you can still see it's quite runny too. It has a certain wetness to it. It's a thick foam, but it's a wet foam. This is the Detailed Online snow foam lance, and this one is very different.
This lance sips product, even at its widest open aperture. It's really, really frugal with the amount of product that comes through it. And yet, as you'll see here, it still generates a really, really good foam. So this foam lance actually takes the least amount of product through the lance at any given moment. And you can still see with the build-up here, it is a very thick foam. And it is relatively wet. It's a really, really great foam lance. I've been a big fan of this one for a long time. But you can see the foam definitely runs off slower than on the Alva lance. And finally, the MJJC Foam Canon Pro version 2. You can see again, this is wide open. I did have a bit of a difficulty with this one. The adjuster at the end to go between a jet and a fan, I couldn't turn it because this foam lance allows you to rotate the nozzle so you can go from a horizontal spray to a vertical spray. And every time I tried to adjust the fins at the end, I kept turning the direction of the fan. So it took me a minute to be able to get a good fan spray out here. Like I said, this and the Alva have very similar panel impact ratios. So the amount of product that comes through this is still quite a lot, but this is well known, this foam lance, for being very much an aerator of product. And you do tend to get a really thick amount of snow foam on your car, or in this case, shampoo. But you will see here, when it goes on, it's quite a dry foam. Very similar actually to the Detailed Online lance. It's a dry foam, it comes down very slowly. So the Alva has the advantage of having a wetter shampoo base. However, we're going to keep using that snow foam lance for the continuation of this product for the rest of this video. So it will be that MJJC version 2. I have a noodle wash pad there. I believe that's from Detailed Online as well. And I'm giving that a good douse to make sure that it's covered in shampoo. I don't want to be using it dry. Now, the first thing I will admit is that this snow foam or shampoo, I keep wanting to call it the snow foam, is slick at first feel, but I do believe that some of that slickness actually comes from the fact that the foam cannon creates a lot of air in it. And so that air creates a cushion. So you do get this rather cushioned feel. That air cushion, though, it does mean that sometimes you don't get full contact with your paint or the surface that you're washing. So you do need to be careful. You need to be mindful about this when you're using this as a shampoo option. That you may want to just make sure you're very methodical with that shampoo and you're covering every area you want to wash. But it does work quite well, and as you'll see here, I'm getting a lot of shampoo onto the car exactly where I need it to be. Another thing to mention is the fact that it's a very warm, sunny day on this day that I was filming, and all of this product sat there right to the very end of the wash. I have heard from other people that this is quite a good sunshine-friendly product if you're happening to work outside in the sun. You will have heard from myself and many other YouTubers and influencers and so on that you need to be careful when using foam products in the sunlight. And that's because we don't want that foam and those suds to dry out on the paint. If they dry out, then they can stick to the paint and cause more issues. And you don't want that. You want your wash to be as smooth and capable as possible. So this product was left while I went around the whole car washing it relatively slowly. I wasn't going fast with this at all. I wasn't trying to speed my wash up at all. But I will say that this product stayed wet for a very, very long time. And that was very impressive. There must be some good foam stabilizers in this shampoo to be able to maintain that level of moisture. And that could be something to do with the palm oil. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what the purpose of the palm oil is, but it's there. But if that helped to maintain this wetter consistency and stop it from drying out, they did a great job. I'm really, really pleased with the fact that it didn't dry out. So this could be a great thing for you summer outdoor detailers looking to be able to get lots of shampoo on your panel and not have to worry about rinsing every panel after every wash. And that's normally something I would do in the summertime. I would wash one side of the car and immediately rinse it off. But here, I washed the entire thing before coming round to rinse it. Now, I did notice here the thickness. When you let it roll down, you let it slide down, you can see just how thick the consistency is, and it builds up as you come down. So if you're washing from top to bottom, you'll have a lot of shampoo down there, but it also is very aerated, so keep that in mind. Now listen to the plops. There's something incredibly satisfying about that. The plops are great, and that's something you won't get when you wash a car with a mitt in a bucket full of shampoo. It's very, very different. So if that's your thing, you may want to do this. It's really, really nice, and it's really genuinely fun. Another thing I will point out here is that foam is so stable, it doesn't want to go away anytime soon. I was blasting this with my pressure washer, and all I was doing was moving it around. Didn't really seem to get rid of it, and it did last there for a good amount of the day. This is maybe something worthwhile keeping in mind when you are going to be using this if you are a mobile detailer and you don't want to leave anything behind at the end of a wash. If it's your own driveway, it may not be so much of an issue, but it is certainly something to keep in mind if you're considering buying this product. It wasn't enough of an issue for me. I still genuinely enjoyed it, but here I come back with a wrap-up.
So in short, using this snow foam shampoo, not really sure which one it is because it's as thick as some of the thickest snow foams I've ever used, and yet as a shampoo it worked well. It cleaned the car, it left a nice finish on the car. There was nothing that it was interfering with anything. It didn't leave behind any difficult to rinse off surfactants. The protection that was already there was exactly the way I left it. So it doesn't leave anything weird behind to mask some of that protection. If anything, it cleaned up some bits and it actually helped to restore some of that protection. So it seems to clean relatively well. The fact that it goes on with a snow foam lance means that you get a really good slick feel. You also get lots of product on the panel compared to when you pick up water and detergent solution from a bucket, because you lose a lot of it, you don't get the same foaminess. The foam was very thick. Some people won't like thick, some people prefer a bit thinner. Also, the fact that the foam seems to hang around for a very long time could put some people off. It doesn't put me off. I actually quite like this, and I'm kind of sad that I've used up quite a bit of this already because I'd be quite happy to use again. That was 600 milliliters in this bottle. I've used 100 per bottle, so I've got half a bottle left here. And I'll use it again. I actually think it's quite a good product. I like the fact that companies are trying to do this. It used to be that snow foam and snow foam lances and so on, they had a sort of specific niche and only some people used them. And what MJJC are trying to show here is that you can use them for many more things than just a pre-wash situation. Have a shampoo that works through the foam lance that you've already spent 40 or 50 pounds on. It's a great idea. If you want to check it out, I'll have links down below in the description. However, if you've enjoyed this video, please go ahead and smash that like button. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you ring the notification bell so you don't miss my next video uploads. And also check out the podcast. Everything will be down below. In the meantime though, I've been Specky. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.